Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Jedi Talk. I am your host, Brad Hughes.
I'm your co-host, Evan T. Boucher.
And, sorry, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Erica.
Erica's here. Erica Sherman is here again. And joining us today on this very special episode of Jedi Talk, the one, the only, Joshua Rodriguez. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not much. I'm talking to you live about 5,000 miles away.
5,000. Did you move?
No, I wish.
Hey, what? You can't leave. You're stuck here, dude. Sorry, you're stuck here. Yeah. So it sounds a little different because, Erica and Evan are in the room, but Josh is not. Josh is chilling. He's in quarantine. He actually tested positive for coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
He's gonna die real soon. We're gonna miss you, buddy. But before you die, we wanted to get one more podcast in. I'm just kidding. Josh doesn't have coronavirus.
It was his dying wish.
It's his dying wish to talk about
everything, Star Wars and stuff, before I just heel on over and just die.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show. I feel like I haven't seen you, but I saw you yesterday. But it was a good time. So we have the show notes ready to rock and roll. Is everybody doing good? Anybody got anything to talk about up front? Cool. Okay, just want to make sure. Make sure we're good.
We're good.
First thing I wanted to bring up was my birthday present came today from Evan.
Better late than never.
Well, I see why it took so long now.
True.
So why don't you tell him what happened? What you got?
Okay, well, I want to say a couple months before your birthday, I messaged my brother. His name is Austin Boucher, and he runs this. I don't know how official he wants to be with it, but he's made around, I want to say, 6 custom pair of all Converse so far, but he can also do Toms. What he does is he gets just a blank canvas shoe, white, black, whatever color you select, and then he'll paint whatever you want, hand paint whatever you want onto these shoes. So I knew how much of a sneakerhead you had, at least seemingly suddenly become, and obviously I know how much we love Star Wars, so I took every excruciating detail I could from your Star Wars fandom, and I sent it to him. And he also made me a pair of shoes, too, to be fair. But he spent, between your shoes and my shoes, 65 hours hand painting these shoes.
That's nuts.
He's got them up on his Instagram page. They will be on my Instagram page. They'll be on my Twitter. They're on your Twitter, Brad.
Yep.
His Instagram page for the shoes are called AB Shoes, or A_B_C_shoes. Stands for Austin Boucher Custom Shoes.
Oh, sweet.
So
That's cool.
Yeah, so he worked his ass off on these, and he had to deal with, he's in college, he's an athlete too, so he had to deal with collegiate athletics, school, tests, all that stuff.
Tell him to drop out. Tell him to just drop out and just start painting shoes. That's all you got to do.
At this point, he's thinking about it. I mean, okay, maybe not dropping out.
I say, why not?
But
Forget learning.
Yeah, you don't need learning.
Forget learning, and then just start painting.
Dude, I got a device with every answer in my pocket.
Exactly, right? We don't need
I'm sure there's YouTube videos on how to become a surgeon. I'm sure you could figure it out.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard.
And he is getting serious with it, though. He's in the process of getting an airbrush, so he'll still do hand painting with literal brushes, but he's evolving into that plus an airbrush.
That's awesome, man.
He's getting out there doing, more things. I mean, in the past, I showed you a few of his designs. They're all on Instagram. And I don't want to call them simple, but even he has said compared to ones he did for us,
I was about to say,
simple.
That's not a knock. Simple is not a knock, but these are way. I mean, dude, he painted the friggin' Holdo incident on my Holdo maneuver on my fucking shoes. That's
and
that's
he said
hard.
that too. He's called these shoes the most advanced or the toughest shoes he's ever done, and he killed it. He nailed it.
He murdered it.
They're all
so
perfect.
good. The Batu on the tongue of the dude, they're just so sick. I love those things.
I was about to ask you. I would be like, hey, where did you get that special print, bro?
I know, dude.
Right?
It's so good.
He is open. He says on his Instagram too. He's told me if you're wanting a custom pair of shoes, DM him. He's starting to make this a reality.
It's awesome, man.
If you see our shoes and you like his work, and just let him know. He'll put in the time and give you some shoes. So.
And what's his Instagram, or what's his?
It's ABC_ between A, B, and C, and then designs.
Shoes, ABC shoes.
Sorry, shoes. ABC shoes. So A_B_C_shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Give him a follow. Do it up because he murdered these. These look great. They're comfortable. They're covers too, which I don't know if I've said that.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do Toms, he'll do Chucks, whatever you want him to do, as long as it's just a blank canvas type shoe.
You know what would be really sick, dude? If you could get like a pair of white like Jordans and like make them like Jedi themed shoes.
Sacrilegious. People will murder you for that.
I don't care. Come at me.
People already do it, and especially with the airbrush, they could definitely do something.
They could do it. I would be down for it.
And he's a basketball
I
player.
got the Mace
too,
Windu
so
threes.
If he can pull it off, he's a basketball player. He'll be fine. Nobody's going to question it.
But yeah, man, did a great job. I do want to say that you completely ruined the surprise. I did.
I had months and months and months.
6 months.
I know.
And as you
I
come
walk in here, I'm like,
go,
hey, get the shoes. Hey, Erica, get the shoes.
oh,
And Brad goes,
I was like,
shoes?
shoes?
I'm like,
Yeah, no.
Yep.
So these are my favorite Star Wars shoes I have because my Toms are really bad.
Well, dang.
They're bad. They're cool looking. Like the Stormtrooper ones are sick looking, but
True.
they are not comfortable. I hate them. These are awesome. I love them. All right. Shout out. Go follow Austin. He's the man. I owe him a beer when he comes to visit.
Did just turn 21, so you can,
sweet.
get him
Okay.
a beer.
Nice.
Okay,
A
cool.
fuzzy tauntaun.
Get him a fuzzy tauntaun. All right, man. Let's hop into some news here. There's not a lot of news. Last week there was a ton of stuff. This week it's been a little quieter, but there have been a few news stories. Evan, why don't you go ahead and start us off here with the first one?
I'm actually probably going to butcher his last name, so if anyone knows how to say his last name.
That's why I gave it to you because I don't know how to say it either.
Erica, do you know how to say his name?
Is it? I think it's Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was Olyphant.
Olyphant.
Okay, well, what they said, he's the newest addition to the cast of Mando Season 2. I haven't seen anything that he's in. He's in the Hollywood show. What's it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I haven't seen
you
that.
said show. I was like, the one on Netflix?
Yeah, I should have
Sorry.
said show. Hollywood movie.
Yeah,
So
I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
That movie was so
you
good.
said it's good.
Oh, it's
yeah,
so good.
everyone says it's good, but he's in it.
It's different. Do you like Tarantino?
Yeah, I don't.
I think
indifferent.
it's not my favorite Tarantino movie because Tarantino is my favorite director, and Pulp Fiction is my favorite movie of all time that isn't Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very, very big fan of Tarantino. It's the most Tarantino movie, but it's not his best movie. If that makes any sense.
I agree.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's kind of slow. It
is slow.
it's got like a slow build, but the last part of the movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of
it's like-
compensates for that, but I definitely think it's about as Quentin Tarantino artistically as you can
yeah.
get.
100%. They just let him get loose, and it was awesome. I love it. I've only seen it once, but I want to watch it again. It's actually on my list for quarantine to watch it again, but I've been working.
Now, have you guys seen who he's rumored to be playing? This is where it
Yes.
gets kind of interesting and weird at the same time.
Did you see it, Josh?
No. I was trying to look it up. I know my wife looked it up, but
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a person who found Boba Fett's armor and is wearing Boba Fett's armor.
Exactly.
wait, what?
Yeah. So this is canon. It's in Aftermath.
That's in Aftermath. Yes,
Yeah,
it's in
Aftermath. So it's canon. A character named Cobb Vanth actually found Boba Fett's armor
That would be such a deep
and then
cut.
put it on and became like a fake Boba Fett / Western sheriff. And even like he took on the persona. He was like, I'm Boba Fett.
Interesting.
So like,
So Boba Fett's a moniker now.
I don't want to. I don't know. I feel like it could get way
Just
too
like the
confusing
Skywalkers.
because now we have what many casual fans already think is Boba Fett, the Mandalorian. I know people that think he's Boba Fett,
I know.
Yeah.
Me too.
and now we have a fake Boba Fett coming in claiming he's Boba Fett, and there's rumors of the real Boba Fett joining the show too.
Now that would be interesting if they have like the real Boba Fett going up against.
With a real Slim Shady, please stand up. Like that's what it'll be.
If they have actual Boba Fett going in up against fake Boba Fett, I think it would work pretty well. I think it would be
Boba
pretty cool.
versus Boba. I'd be
Yeah,
into
right.
it.
I could see it
While they're
working.
holding boba drinks.
It reminds me of that Spider-Man meme where the two Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. Wait.
That's hilarious. Oh, it could work. I could see it. It's not my first choice. I don't want them to do Boba Fett. I've always said I feel like the Mandalorian was initially written as a Boba Fett and IG-88 story, and then they were like, no, we're not doing that. But instead, you can have this random character that looks like Boba Fett and another IG droid.
Boba Fett's one of those characters, though, that, he's not really in the films all that much, but he has such a following. And I'm speaking from experience here because I love Boba Fett, and I never really understood why. So I can totally understand why they would want to incorporate him into the Mandalorian, especially with all of the Mandalorian, is he Boba Fett? Is he not, to the casual fan?
Yeah.
So, it's interesting to sort of bring him in and, there was going to be a Boba Fett movie. Now there's
Josh
not.
Trank
So
movie.
I think there's, a good reason to bring him in there and kind of tie things together. So
It definitely can work.
interesting.
It's not the worst idea. That's what I said last week. I don't want this to become a live action Rebel show or like the tie-in show or like this show now has to carry on its back tying in everything. And it's just like, it was a cool, almost like in a weird way, kind of serialized story. Cause I felt like 3 chapters and then there's 6 episodes. I felt like beginning, middle and end. And like the beginning was really, really good. And the end was really, really good. The middle was kind of, we still need to finish it. But I don't know.
4, 5, and 6 are kind of but it starts pretty strong, kind of slow but strong. But then, like, as far as I can remember from the initial viewing, it ends super strong. So like, we might rewatch it and say, "Wow, the ending was slower than we thought," or But
to be fair, we ended on the worst episode
when we did the rewatch, the Mando series. Yeah,
so bad.
Bryce Dallas Howard's
Wait, what
Sanctuary.
episode did you guys finish at?
So
Sanctuary.
we're doing Sanctuary. So episode 4. We're doing the audio commentary for those, and we did that. We were going to do all of them initially, but we were just like, this is going to take 6 hours or something. So we're like, we'll just do them. Yeah. We'll break them up into 2 halves, and we haven't done the second half yet.
Oh, that's cool.
But you should come do it with us, man. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I haven't done anything in like how long?
7 years. It's been 7. It's been 7.5 years.
Oh, seriously?
No.
Okay. It's been a long time, but what?
You really think I've
He's
been
like,
out
fooled
that
me.
long?
I was like, shit, really?
No. It's a little while. What? Like over a year and a half?
Well, no, because you did the lower level not too long ago. But like
About a year, maybe.
no, it wasn't that long.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay.
Because I had
remember,
the first one I did was with Kevin, and you came a week after that. And that definitely wasn't a year ago. That was
Okay.
January, February,
January, maybe something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? I mean, I don't know his acting, so I can't speak to it. But do you think A, is he a good addition, and B, do you think that rumor A is a good rumor, or is it not? Do you want to see it? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a good rumor. I mean, his acting is okay. I guess. I liked him in the Deadwood, so I can kind of see him. We're still talking about Timothy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of guess that he'll probably act more like Boba, or like a copy of Boba and stuff like that. But I think it'll be kind of cool.
Is he an older guy? He looks older.
He's older now. He's older now.
Weird.
He was like a young star, like young movie star, like a few movies and a lot of TV shows back in the day.
Gotcha.
He's a very understated performer. He's not a very flashy performer, which I think is exactly what you need for someone playing sort of a Boba Fett role. If we, know
True.
if that's exactly who he's going to be. So I think in that sense, the casting was great. If the role all the rumors pan out, then I think he would bring good energy to a role like that.
Oh yeah, agreed.
I don't think he's going to be playing Boba Fett.
I
just feel like that's such. I think he might be like a sheriff. Like This is the thing with Mandalorian and Star Wars in general. The sequels and all stuff that they put out. They'll have these amazing actors that are like, dude, this guy's gonna be the next blah in your head, and then it's just he's in the background as an officer, or, he turns out to be a character that's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but then they can always expand upon it with comics and books and all that kind of stuff. But
look at General Pride in Episode 9.
Perfect example.
Big actor, but then he's just he was good, but just a small. You could call it small, right?
Small
role
for
in
sure.
Episode 9.
Important but small.
And there's no other really extended background on him yet. They might go into comics or a book, maybe. But
I would love like a Tarkin type novel with him.
He was connected to the Empire. He worked he served the Empire.
Did he know the entire time that
Hux was the spy?
No. That the Emperor was back and he was just waiting.
I don't know because we only see him say, "I'll serve you like I did in the Empire." Like that's all we see him say.
but he's not surprised. He's like, oh
Right.
yeah, I got
And
you, bro.
when Kylo's in that meeting room, he's for it. He's like, we should take this guy. And everyone else is like, what's he really giving us? What's he want in return? And
Yeah.
Pride's like, you kidding me? He's going to triple or what's he say? 1,000-fold.
1,000-fold.
Yeah, so he's for it. So I think he's in
That's
on
a
it
lot
the
of
whole
ships,
time.
dude. 1,000
It is.
times? Jesus.
You've seen that video game cutscene. That's, in the
That's
movie.
the only shot of that
So-
movie I don't like is when it's like the underneath of all the Star Destroyers. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I get
But-
it.
I mean,
There's a lot of ships.
if he is playing the character that we think, he did end up becoming basically just like a Wild West like sheriff in universe. That's actually what he became. So like,
So why not just play Boba Fett? Why are you playing a guy playing Boba Fett?
because it's a character in universe, and this is becoming the tie-in show. Maybe we think.
Wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
he's probably
Oh,
the
I'm sorry. My bad. I was thinking Boba Fett was the guy that was.
No,
Sorry,
he's-
you're
yeah.
right. The guy you mentioned, Cal. What's his name?
Van.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way off. Yeah, I don't know. I am obviously excited for Mandalorian season 2. I just don't want it to be the tie-in show, and what they're doing isn't bad. And I'm one who's been saying they should tie in the books and stuff. And if they do that, then I can't complain about it. So I'm in. I changed my mind. I'm all in.
Now I think we talked about it last episode, but the Bo-Katan. Did we talk about that casting rumor?
No,
No?
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
I don't think we did. I think that was a day after.
In between episodes.
Yeah.
Now
If we did,
I
then
think,
whatever.
I think she's good for that role, but also, do we want Bo-Katan?
No.
Okay. Now, what if it's what I think it's going to be? What if it's Gideon describing or telling a flashback where
Fine.
he kills Bo-Katan and takes the Darksaber
That I'd be okay with.
during the Night of 1,000 Tears?
That I'm okay with.
Because that's what I think it's going to be.
That's fine. I don't want this to be the fucking tie-in show. Like, I don't need this doesn't need to be live action Rebels and live action Clone Wars.
I don't think it's going to be the tie-in show. I think, you want to have characters like this to sort of tie everything together, but the first season of The Mandalorian is not a tie-in show. It is very much a standalone thing that feels like it's part of the Star Wars universe, but has new characters, new storyline, whatever. So I think they're trying to maybe just inject some life into it with these characters and sort of bring it back into the Star Wars universe so that you're reminded that this is part of the Star Wars universe so that they can kind of do their own thing.
Yes,
but
but
you can't, if you do it too much, then yeah, it's
Exactly.
going to seem like the
that's
tie-in
the
show.
thing. It's like do one or two. Like we've heard Boba Fett's coming back. I mean, even if it's the armor, it's still Boba Fett. People are going to
still
think it's
Boba
Boba Fett.
And then there's Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Captain Rex.
Rex,
I mean,
yeah.
like Jesus Christ, how many of these? Like, pick one, pick one of them. Do one a season.
And
You can use R5 whenever you want. I'll take R5 every day.
Are you sure?
Yes, I love
sure
R5.
about that?
I love me some R5.
And we also don't know too, all of these casting rumors are being announced.
That is not a Corona cough. Sorry, I'm choking to death on water.
But these people could have one episode cameos. They can have 20 minutes of screen time, so they could be just announcing this to, give hype, be like, oh, I want to see my favorite character on The Mandalorian, but they may not be main characters.
I would rather them do all. Like, here's what I would rather do. I'd rather you give all these characters background shots, because then you're not putting any pressure on it. But see, this is the thing about these announcements. People are going to go like, now that they've announced all this stuff, or not even they, but now the rumors have been coming out, people are going to build this up, and then when it is a little cameo, they're going to be pissed because it was wasted.
Yep.
It's like, just let it
Yeah.
be a surprise. Like
Yeah.
this shouldn't have be gotten leaked in the first place.
Now I
That's
know,
a different issue, but like,
Yeah, I know you don't like Rogue One a lot, but I think
I'm gonna rewatch it tomorrow probably.
really, okay.
Yeah,
I think
wanna
that's
rewatch
one
it.
thing most people can agree on is I think like the background mentions and shout outs were perfect in that. Like you see the ghost, the actual ghost in a background shot. They mention Hera Syndulla in a background, like over the radio.
Overhead
so like
announcement.
that stuff is perfect.
Yep.
So I think if they do the Mandalorian, like you're saying, in that type of manner, then I think it'll be fine.
Oh yeah. I feel
That's
like-
fine. I just don't want this episode is Ahsoka's episode. This episode is the Bo-Katan episode. This episode, it's just like, 'cause then we're losing point. Like the whole plot is the whole him and the child's relationship. Like that's the whole reason
that's true.
people care. Like and you're gonna lose that.
And I don't
You-
think they're going
You
to
could lose that.
I think they're going to stick with those roots. I think
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
it's working for them. I don't think they're going to.
But this is what they always do. Whenever it starts working, and this is not even just Disney, this is any successful TV show or franchise. Think about Transformers. The first, or even, Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. It was an awesome first movie. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I got you. You know I'm
know.
right. You know
No,
I'm
I
right.
agree.
You can like them,
No, I
but
agree.
you know I'm right.
Yeah.
The first movie was amazing and perfect, and then they go, "Oh, you like that? Well, we're gonna ramp it up to 20." And it's like you don't have to do that. Like
that's my problem with 3 and 4. 3 goes bonkers, man.
What's the one where the world flips? And
that's
like
3. It goes bonkers, man.
It's too much,
right?
And
I love
every time they try
pirates,
to top themselves. It's like just make good. Like you don't
and
have
I think
to.
that's why 5 is better.
That's why I'm nervous.
5 to me just gets better because they go back like, okay, let's chill. It's one villain. It's Jack. Like it's normal.
That's exactly
3 goes crazy bonkers.
Is
so
5 the newest one or 6 the newest
5.
one?
5 is the one you
6.
just saw.
5's the
6
the
isn't out
latest one.
yet.
Okay.
6 is potentially
5
Red's
is the
movie.
second
We don't
best
know.
Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's the
so
third
good.
best, but
What's your
1, 2, 5, 4,
really?
3.
I need to rewatch 2. I only one I watched was the Black Pearl with Bentley, and he loved it.
Yeah.
I'm basically with Evan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 doesn't go bonkers. They keep it chill. But 3 and 4 is when they do what most successful companies do, and they're like, "You like this? Let's do this and this." Yeah. It's like, okay, chill.
The worst example I think is Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, that
Those
first
all
Transformers
run
movie
together
was
for
good.
me. I
And
can
love
distinguish one.
Transformers.
You do?
I love
All of them? All the movies? Okay, thank you.
I can't tell. Okay, first off, I don't know how many they've made, but I can't tell number 2 apart from number 4, 5,
There's
6,
like
7, 8.
That's
whatever.
time with Pirates, though.
No?
They all. I could not tell you a single plot point from the second movie, and I know I've seen it.
I can, but
I was stoked about it when I
with
saw it.
Transformers 2 through 7 or however many are the same.
I think it's 6, right? 5, 6.
It's like 5 or 6.
This is literally what happened in the last. I didn't see it, but in the last movie, there was literally like Merlin was involved, and Hitler was involved. And I'm serious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I have to keep my childhood dream.
Be like Merlin was
Right.
there, Hitler was a part of it, or something.
Isn't that the one
Weird.
where they like somehow roped Anthony Hopkins into it?
Yes.
Like if you got Anthony
Yes.
Hopkins, I'm sorry, Anthony.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And Anthony Hopkins was like, you know what?
Hey, bro, he's got to pay the rent too.
That's right.
Oof,
I got to do
Good
something.
Lord. Good Lord. All right. I think we've talked that first topic to death. I didn't think we were going to get that much out of it, but we did. I will bring up the next one because it's not hard to pronounce. This is a weird one, and I thought this was like a no-duh kind of thing, but Mark Hamill left a note on Twitter, which I don't like the wording of that. It makes it sound like he killed himself and left a note on Twitter. Left a note claiming that his days of playing Luke Skywalker are done with the release of Rise of Skywalker. His quote was, May the 9th. He does like every May. He does like all days of May, like May the, whatever. May the 9th, it said, be a bittersweet episode, knowing it was the last time I would ever play Luke. Yeah. I mean, you don't,
He's
yeah.
kind of dead.
He's dead, so, like,
Force
I mean-
Ghost is the only route back.
and unless you're doing more movies like 10, 11, 12, there's no reason for him to be there.
Yeah.
So
And if they're going
Exactly.
young, they're probably going to go super young if they do. I don't
Sebastian
think they will.
Stan,
Exactly.
dude.
And Sebastian Stan is what me included, everybody wants.
Have you seen the photo of Sebastian Stan,
Yes,
Josh? You have?
yes,
Okay. It's crazy. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, hang on.
Oh no!
Hang on.
You
Hang
Look
on.
it
have to
up.
see it.
He looks just
It's
like
it's fucking
he looks
weird.
just like episode 5 and 6 Luke. It's crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
because he doesn't
yeah.
really. I
Oh,
mean,
no, you wait till you
we
see.
we were just watching Captain America. And yeah.
No. It looks. I want that
Me too.
to happen.
This is a side by side. Okay.
What?
I know it's
How is that the
And
same person? How is that not the same person? That makes no sense.
Isn't that weird? So
That's
Mark Hamill's on the right.
crazy.
He's on the left. Yeah. Isn't that nuts? Someone just photoshopped that haircut on him. That's the only thing they did. Just the haircut on his face. It looks just like him. It's weird.
I'm shook.
It's so strange. There it is in color.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane, man. Like,
Wow.
how are
Who
you?
knew?
How is Disney not doing this? How do they
Have
not?
Sebastian
How do they
Stan
not-
under their wing already. Like
Hear me out. A Luke Skywalker trilogy from following the plot that he did, that where they picked up on in Episode 9 with him
With
and
OG?
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Give me that
and
movie.
it runs into OG eventually.
Give me
and-
that movie.
Yeah. And they even tied him into not Fallen Order, the other video game. I don't do video games. Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Where he's hunting
Yeah.
the artifacts and he gets the compass. And we see it in his hut in episode 8. So
See him struggling with the dark side. Like, that'd be so sick.
do it. Yeah.
Come on.
Do it.
Donald Glover, Sebastian Stan, buddy cop film through space.
Hey,
Give me that.
that would be awesome.
Have a new writing project. Luke.
We also kind of
Disney,
toyed with
just
this
hire-
weekend.
Just hire all of us. Disney.
Right.
Just
The book
Dude.
I have, the
Right.
book I want to write.
We also kind of toyed with this weekend. We were like, episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Why don't we make it how we want it to be? And we kind of looked at each other like, we should do that. Like,
yeah,
Attack of the Clones, how it should be.
How it should be. It should just
That's
start
the
with
title. Episode 2, how it should be.
Episode 2, the way it should be.
This is the way.
It should just start off with another 30-minute pod racing scene, and that's just how it starts.
That's okay.
It pans down back to Tatooine,
Ben
like,
Quadinaros versus Sebulba.
and just boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the best like 30 minutes ever.
That pod racing scene, I didn't realize how long it was. The pod racing scene in Phantom Menace is
It's
literally
basically
30
like
minutes
the whole
long.
second act.
It's 30
know.
minutes long.
Yeah.
I know.
I love it. I watched it the other day just to watch it because I love that scene so much. Pod racing is my favorite thing from the prequels by far. By far, my favorite thing. Like, I love it.
Yes.
So what do you think? You think Mark Hamill's ever going to play Luke again? And do you care? I don't care. We've had it. I got his story. We're done.
Nah,
I agree.
I'm good.
What do you
I'm
think, man?
good.
No, yeah. I mean, if they found a way to make a good story with either Old Man Luke or Force Ghost Luke talking
They
to
did.
Finn
It was called
or Rey,
it was called The Last Jedi.
that's very true. But that's a great Luke story, and Luke is in your big 3 of the prequel, the sequel trilogy, and I agree. Like when you said that, I was like, wait, like it threw me off. I'm like, no, you're right. Luke is in that main 3 characters. His arc is huge
For sure. It's
Yeah.
the whole point of The Last Jedi is
Yeah.
like
That's his whole
redeeming
movie.
yourself.
That's his movie more than Rey or
I
Kylo.
agree 100%.
Yeah. So
100%.
we've already seen our Old Man Luke story. So if
Done.
we need this current iteration of Luke, Force Ghost is the only way to go. But we're not going to get Rey or Finn, I don't think, in the next
No, I
5-ish
don't think
years.
so.
Shit. No,
So-
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It better not happen.
Personally, I think that eventually when they make later movies that are going to be, after Rise of Skywalker, I think they are going to have Rey and Finn, and I think they're going to have everyone there. Will the story be focused on them? No. But I do think those characters will appear in some way, shape, or form in those movies. That being said, I think that
I think you're right.
but then again, but if you add Luke into that, I think then it starts to get a little convoluted and a little bit too nostalgic looking
Yeah.
towards the past. So yeah, if you want to have Luke appear, if it's just a little scene where it's a Force Ghost situation, cool. But I don't think they're going to bring him back to the same extent that they did.
You know what? I agree, but then I also say, just bring back Rose. Let's just do Rose and Finn.
As a Force Ghost or...
Like no. Just
She's the head of the resistance now that Leia's
head of the
passed.
resistance
Oh,
now.
God. Please no.
Finn and Rose.
No.
And then
Pose the
bring
leader.
Morgan in it.
No.
Oh.
I can't tell if you're joking. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I am.
He's a big Rose Tico fan.
Oh, I love Rose.
Oh man,
Hence my sarcasm.
I don't she's awesome in the comic books. She's great. in the
Yes, but
comics.
whoever they did her wrong in the movie.
I think they did her just right. I think they knew. I think J.J. Abrams knew exactly what they had on their hands, and they're like, we're just going to take a step back from this.
I think they did her wrong in episode 8, to be honest. It was too much of her in episode 8.
Yeah,
I'd be okay if they found a happy medium
She-
between 8 and 9.
her character, she should have been a borderline extra.
Her character got so much backlash, and I honestly would not be surprised if the reason why she wasn't in the Rise of Skywalker is
For sure,
is because of
100%.
that backlash.
100%.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
stuff they said they shot with her that they deleted. I think. Did I make that up?
I haven't heard that either, but I wouldn't be surprised. But she wasn't in any trailer. Why? That's why.
I was hoping she died,
Dang.
Yeah.
just like her sister Paige for being a loser. Got him. Got him. Yeah, no one's surprised that Mark Hamill's not doing Luke anymore, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Definitely
And especially after, he acted it perfectly in Last Jedi, but especially after he said he didn't like Luke in The Last Jedi. Like, after that, it's like, okay, step away.
You're not
Like,
a
we got
writer
it.
though. Like he said
Yeah.
that he said that he would like the story he made up in his head was something preposterous.
It was even worse than, like, the episode 9
that
Duel
like
of the Fates.
that like
it was
his,
crazy.
Oh, so stupid. It was something to the effect of like his kid found his lightsaber and accidentally stabbed himself with it. And
Oh, no.
You'd have to look it up. This was when I think The Force Awakens had just come out, and he was like talking about the mind, like he like they wouldn't give me a backstory, so I had to make it my own and to get into character. I'm like, You're acting things that aren't happening. Like you can't do that.
I mean, it worked out. He acted amazing in episode 8, but like episode 8 was perfect Luke, and we don't need any more. Like you said, Old Man Luke is good. It was perfect. It's done.
This is the thing about Last Jedi. I told you it was going to come up. I told you.
Always does.
Here's the thing. The thing about it is like I get if the last thing you see from Luke is when Rey leaves and he just doesn't show up again, like being upset that that's how they ended Luke. I would completely understand.
Exactly.
But the fact that he shows up at the end and does the most Luke Skywalker shit of all time.
Not just the best Luke Skywalker shit of all time. The most Jedi thing of all time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that people just like forget that happened. I'm like, did you guys like not see that part of the movie? Did you walk out? Like what happened?
They got so mad they just walked out.
Well, I guess he's not coming back then because that's not my Luke. I'm leaving.
So stupid. All right, let's move on to the next story here. Evan or Erica, whoever wants to do the next one. Or hell, you know what? Josh, you are doing the next story here.
Dude, I haven't done this in like forever, man. So you know what? I'll do it. You know, let's go ahead and talk about the Disney Gallery episodes, especially the episode 3 that's coming out. I believe
it's out already. Came out on Friday.
Okay, so
I'm
I only
assuming
saw,
you haven't watched it.
I saw episode 1. I was watching episode 2.
Episode
I'm
2
behind,
is
man.
awesome. Episode 2 is awesome.
I know.
I'm behind too.
Especially the last 8 minutes. But episode 3 is when they get into, I guess, the quote big 3 of the show. Not counting the child. Sadly, the child doesn't get involved in this episode. But
this show was not what I thought it was going to be.
No, same.
And like, I don't know if it's a good. I was expecting like DVD bonus features. You know what I mean? Like just a simple how to, like, or not how to, like how they made it, how to make the
how to make the child.
First DIY.
De-age Yoda.
It's always like those YouTube videos,
years.
these videos where it's like simple hand tools, and it's just like, oh, simple hand tools. Okay, you need a pneumatic jack. You need
a wood welder.
Hey, man.
You need a left-handed screwdriver.
You need a welding mask. So stupid. Yeah. I don't know.
I've watched just the 2 episodes, but.
What do you think? Do you like it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you finished episode 2 yet?
I think I'm 10 minutes left.
Oh,
that's
dude,
the
that's the best part.
That's the best 10 minutes of the whole series so far.
Good. Don't spoil it.
I'm not.
Yeah, no,
it's
we
awesome.
won't. You need to see that as soon as we end this.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up. I meant to do it today, and then I.
Have you not seen episode 3 or chapter 3?
No,
whatever
I watched episode 3.
Okay, so I mean, they basically just dive into Grief's casting and character and all that.
Grief Karga.
They go into everyone's casting. It's not just Grief, but I definitely think Carl Weathers, hearing him speak about how he got cast and that whole process was really interesting. I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't really think I am, but he essentially came out of retirement to do this.
Really?
And he talks about that and why he did that and how he gravitated towards this role. And it was really interesting to hear him speak with, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on her name, Cugino, or Cardoon. What's her name?
Oh, Gina Carano.
Gina Carano, thank you. Hearing their interaction was really interesting because, she's relatively unknown, especially compared to someone like Carl Weathers. So it was really interesting about hearing like them together on set and how inspiring it was to have Carl there. And I don't know, when Pedro Pascal was cast as the Mandalorian, I had seen Pedro in other stuff, and I was not like discouraged, but I wasn't encouraged. I was like, okay, I could see that. I'm sure there's a reason why Pedro was cast. Cool. I happen to think he nails the Mandalorian. So it was sort of interesting to see, just how, with casting it, as a writer, you come up with these characters, and a lot of times when you're writing these characters, you sort of visualize them. You have who they are in your brain, and then you have to take all of these actual people and say, okay, who's the person that is going to bring the most to this? Mm-hmm. And you're never going to get someone that's perfect because it's your character that you created in your head. So who's going to best do this? And that casting they nailed. I just think the 3 of them. But it's interesting to hear how they all got to all of their roles. And Gina, especially, she's a fighter.
Yep. That's how I know her. I know
yeah.
her as an MMA fighter. She's a savage.
Yeah, so it was really interesting. Yeah, it was just great to see them talk. It's also interesting to see when actors are not in character and they're talking, how different and how similar they are to their characters too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I love that stuff. I was nervous when they announced Gina Carano because she's a fighter. Mm-hmm. And my brain went, okay, that's Domino from Deadpool. You know, she's been in a few small things, but like that's probably going to be a more physical role. And then when it came out that she was like a former Rebel shock trooper, I was like,
that's perfect.
That's
casting.
perfect casting.
Yeah.
If which they haven't really done much, if they explore her backstory, I'd like that's what I want to see.
Well, we know she's from Alderaan too.
Yes.
So that is crazy.
That's awesome.
I don't want to spoil too much of it, but like they go into.
Oh, sorry. I meant before I forget. I was nervous when they cast Pedro Pascal, not because of him. I don't know him, but this was that era when they were casting everybody from Game of Thrones. It was like no matter what came out, it was like, oh, they're from Game of Thrones. Like everybody's from Game of Thrones. Was anyone not in that show?
We had Emilia Clarke in Solo.
Yep.
It's like everybody from Game of Thrones, come on in.
So many other people from Game of Thrones has appeared in Star Wars.
It's
so
crazy.
Oh, and
so I was just like,
Christie.
it's another one.
Gwendolyn
Christie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Phasma. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I actually like Pedro.
a bunch of other people.
You actually what?
I actually love Pedro.
Oh yeah, we all do.
We love him too.
Yeah, we love
I was
Pedro.
just nervous at the time because I was like, oh, it's just somebody else from Game of Thrones that they've casted.
Yeah, and then Kingsman and some other stuff. Yeah. So he was
awesome in Kingsman. I didn't realize that was him.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen Kingsman? Kingsman
No.
2?
I haven't seen either of them.
Hang on.
All right.
Oh, dude, you haven't seen either one of the Kingsman movies?
No.
Oh, dude.
All right.
They're so fun.
Maketh man. Hey.
I love those movies.
I don't want to spoil the gallery, episode 3, but they do go into, I won't say what they say, but they do go into how much of it was Pedro Pascal versus his stunt doubles.
They did?
They
addressed it?
They address it. And it's interesting to see how and why they do. So I won't spoil it, but that's there.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I'm
then-
gonna have to update myself tonight.
Right. It's a good one. And then they go into
He plays like a whiskey. He owns
that's
like
perfect.
a whiskey distillery.
I
He
can
was
see
awesome.
him being
Very-
like a
very
cowboy
southern,
whiskey distillery.
very Southern cowboy.
Yeah.
Western.
That's you, Josh.
And
That's
me,
that's
exactly.
how I'd get to play you in a biopic.
with Kevin not
Cousin
doing the
Pedro.
accent.
Don't worry, I'll start doing that for Halloween.
You should, man. You do that mustache all the time anyway.
I know.
The coolest
I
thing
might
they
bring it
did
back.
with Cara Dune too, and what's her name again? The actress
Gina Carano.
Gina. Like they talk about her and like the concept art for the character and that relationship. So that's cool. I don't want to spoil that either. And her relationship, I think Erica, she did touch on it. Like her relationship with Carl Weathers, it's a very cool relationship they had on set. So that's cool. And then, in my opinion, like Carl Weathers kind of stole the show in this episode.
Get out of
He's
here.
kind of like the Dave Filoni of this episode.
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I can't
So
wait. I love
it's a good
him.
one. Aside from Filoni's, not rant, but Filoni's speech at the end of episode 2, this is the best we've got so far from the series.
Yeah, man. Here's Josh. Yeah, here's how good episode 2, the ending of episode 2 is. It makes me look at the prequels differently.
Yeah, it does.
From this,
Is that so is that the 10 minutes that I have left?
it's
basically?
literally all you have. He probably was starting as you turned it off. It literally makes you look at the prequels differently, man. Like I want to
sitting
watch them.
down-
I want to rewatch them now.
I was sitting down, I was watching the episode, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting kind of tired. I was like, I got about 10 minutes left, and I'll watch this later.
Messed up, son. It's awesome. It's really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to finish that.
Text me after when you watch it tonight, and let me know what you think. 'cause
Yes,
I'm
sir.
curious. All right. Since I haven't seen it, I can't really talk about it. Let's see. This is an interesting story, I think, because it's kind of telling how bored people are.
Yes and no. Come on now. Yes and no. We know how much you hate the show, but I'll defend it.
But like it's okay. Hang on. So the story is Clone Wars and Mando are officially the top streaming shows of all time, with Clone Wars being number 1. That's insane to me, and like it's by like 3 or 4 times what Mandalorian was.
It's kinda boring.
huge. Thank you. The show's not good.
The majority of it is boring, but the highs are high and the
Only
lows are low.
only Star Wars fans can be like, most of it sucks, but I still love it.
I agree. That is me.
Yeah.
No, I agree. There's definitely high points and low points.
The last 4 episodes are fantastic. Some of the best Star Wars stuff I've ever seen. It's really, really good. But the first 8 episodes or 7 or whatever it was just like, okay, all right, I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah. Here's the thing with with Clone Wars, though, for people who are Star Wars fans. So, Rise of Skywalker's out. We don't know when the next movie's coming. Mandalorian's done. We know it's coming back in fall, but that's a ways away. So there's really not a whole lot of Star Wars stuff going on. And I think that people are bored and itching for content. And I remember when the Clone Wars first came out is when I had watched it. I haven't seen it really since then. When it first came out, Hulu and Netflix weren't really a thing yet.
It's on Cartoon Network. You either saw it or you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember trying to get into it. I never could get into it. I've tried many times.
I know.
I don't.
Like the first
can't.
couple of episodes, I was like, nah.
It's just so, and it's out of order too. Like it's really confusing.
Yes.
The first season's first 2 seasons, first 2.
All of them are out of order.
It's all out of
except for the last, except for the arcs. The arcs are in order. But
why on earth would you do a show that way?
I don't get it either. It makes no sense.
It makes sense.
Ahsoka leaves, spoilers for Clone Wars, I guess, but Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order in season 5, and we don't see what happens to her after that till season 7. It's just why are they so... That's not the only crazy scenario where the episodes are out of order, but they're all out of order. I don't
Josh, how much
that.
Clone Wars have you watched?
Just a few seasons. I can't.
It's
I just can't.
I'm with you, man. I don't. First off, I don't care about that era in Star Wars. Secondly, the animation is weird.
It's janky until episode or season 7.
It gets better.
Yeah,
it definitely gets better.
Beautiful.
Sometimes it's great, and then sometimes you're like, why
is
does
it
Yoda
blocky?
look like a raisin?
Yeah,
It's like a green raisin with ears.
That's when you're trying to figure out. You're like, are you watching Jimmy Neutron or
right?
Oh, Jimmy Neutron looks
Perfect
better.
comparison.
Jimmy
Those
Neutron
are great
looks
comparisons.
better, dude.
A raisin for Yoda, perfect, and Jimmy.
But the action scenes with the
bless.
ships, a lot of that stuff is gorgeous. But yeah,
It's cool.
And then there's
stuff that's fine
green
about
raisin with ears.
I don't think I like any of it though, other than that. I haven't seen all of it, to be fair. But I don't think I like or even love any of it except those last 4 episodes of season 7. Now, was this something that they just wanted to? Is this Dave Filoni's baby? He wanted to finish Clone Wars.
Well, they already had storyboards for, I believe, all of season 7 already done.
So
they just never finished
what
the
I'm hearing
episodes.
is that they won't change Clone Wars, but they'll change the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They made minor tweaks to the storyboards he had already for season 7.
Blood red mad.
And he's had those for 5 years, just sitting doing nothing.
Just collecting dust.
But that's the thing with Clone Wars. I feel like, people have now there's Disney Plus. All of it's on Disney Plus. It wasn't on streaming services before. So a lot
can
of
be
people
bored
that
now.
didn't. Exactly. And you have all of these resources to, give yourself some more Star Wars content that's
for
original.
us,
and,
for us, we just want to what I would like is just give me the highlights that I need to watch.
I know. Give me a best of clip. Show me where it takes place in the timeline, and just
I've done
show me that.
But I've lost Brad's trust because I told him the Mortis arc.
Oh, you
and
certainly
he
did
hates
lose
the
my
Mortis
trust.
arc.
Have you seen the Mortis arc?
The Mortis arc.
Son of Mortis. Oh,
That's
bro,
one of the episodes,
hang on,
Son
bro.
of Mortis.
Hang on. Don't waste your time, okay? It sucks. It's literally it's garbage. I don't know how you like it
because you like the Bendu and Rebels, and I feel like it's on that wavelength of the Bendu.
I mean, it kind of is.
See,
But it's just man. Oh my god! It's literally the dark side, light side. That whole with two separate sides, right?
The dichotomy.
Thank you. The dichotomy of the light and the dark. Why is this still clicking? Is that your phone? Your thing, Josh?
Yeah, I was just clicking and then I kind of stopped.
Well, no. The Google Hangout chat, or is it me?
No, I think that's you.
Hang on. Sorry. Oh yeah, it's a different thing. I have to mute. Sorry. Anyway, so it's literally just a visual representation of what we already know, and then for some reason the guy's son is the evil, his daughter's the pure light side. The son kills the daughter, and his dad is somehow surprised by this.
All right, now stop.
Dude. It's 3 episodes of that. It's an hour.
That's the problem, I think, with a lot of Clone Wars and a lot of the arcs. You know, a lot of these arcs.
That could be a 5-minute thing in one episode. It doesn't have to be 60 minutes.
No, it's true. And that's, I think, the big problem with Clone Wars is that you have some great arcs in there, and they go on for 10 episodes when they should go on for 3. Or they go on for 3 episodes and you could do it in 1.
Yeah, the Mortis thing could have been done in 1 episode. Like, you don't need to find them scaling the mountain. Like, oh my God, dude. I was literally mad at him for wasting my time.
He was. He texted me too. The text messages were great. I was like, I think Brad doesn't like me anymore. I was like, I might need to find a new friend. I don't know.
I said, you like this? And you're like, yeah, it's awesome. I was like, are you serious? What's wrong with you?
A lot of things.
But here's the thing. I know I'm in the minority here. I know people like that stuff. And I know it's just me, but it's just for me. Like if we didn't know the whole light side, dark side thing, it would make more sense.
If it was the first introduction of it,
it would make more sense. And I guess technically on the timeline,
canonically it is, but it's not. We've known about it since '77.
It's been 40 years.
Yeah, that's
so
valid. Very valid.
45.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You don't need to watch it. Just seriously, I literally just explained 60 minutes of crap to you.
Not crap.
Oh, and guess what? Anakin gets away.
Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka all live.
That's my problem too. Like anytime with prequel stuff, like even in Solo, you're watching Solo and you're like, oh, Chewie's hanging off the train. I'm sure he's fine. It's Chewie.
Chewie lived.
Exactly.
Oh God. No, Rise of Skywalker got me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It got everybody.
Rise of Skywalker.
We looked at each other like, oh.
I remember looking at you and going, I can't bring Brit. I looked over at Holly and I said, I can't bring Brit to this movie.
Before on the show, and
yeah.
Because she loves Chewie.
You had to warn her before, and thankfully it worked, right? Like she was okay with it. She's like, okay.
She still goes Chewie every time it happens. I'm like,
same.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. Oh man, kids aren't smart.
Quickly though, that brings me kind of random side note. Do you think Chewie can still hug people on Batuu after all this crazy crap happens? Because I've never had a Wookiee hug.
Is Ray gonna have to wear a mask?
Can Kylo get his mask, please? Oh, Kylo has his mask already. He's safe.
I don't know how this is gonna work, man. I have no idea.
You'll get your Chewie hug eventually. Maybe not right away, but eventually.
Can I get a Kylo hug first?
That's definitely not gonna happen.
Damn.
It's also kind of gay. Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I can dream. Come on.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Definitely not.
Thank you.
But it is fun to mock you for it.
I hate you, but thank you.
It's okay. I hate you.
There's so much hate and love here, you know?
It's like the Mortis arc.
It is.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh God. All right. That is the end of the news here. Like I said, shorter news week, but we got a lot out of that. Good conversations there. So before we end this episode, we will do the few listener questions that we have. A few of them are good, and
we'll jump into our long forgotten good question for another time segment.
Do you want to let's do this first. Let's
do that first.
Yeah, let's do it first.
Okay.
I'm still pulling these up.
I don't know where we're gonna go for next week yet. So
this is a great question. I didn't see this till just now.
If you can come up with a good question for next week, go ahead and let me know, Brad, Erica, or Joshua.
So, Josh, I don't know if you know what we do on this part of the show. It's called a great question for another time. Mm-hmm. I should know the name of the segment that we do.
Maz Kanata's infamous line.
It's Maz Kanata's quote when Rey asks about where she got or Han asks where she got the lightsaber in Force Awakens. Yeah. So it's what we do is we find like random obscure characters and like bring it up, and then like either people will research it and send it to us on Twitter, or we research it and talk about it on the show that following week. So the last one was what happened to R5D4?
Between A New Hope and he shows up in Mandalorian Chapter 5, the gunslinger. So, I mean, essentially, it's really lame, really boring. He just kind of hung out on Tatooine.
Glad you brought it up then.
So, but his backstory is kind of cool. I learned more about him. You probably already knew. But he actually used to work for the rebellion before the Jawas caught him.
Did he really? I didn't know that. No,
so he was a part of the rebellion.
Really?
Wait, does that come from a certain point of view?
I don't know where it came from. I got this from Wikipedia, so I know it's canon.
I think it comes from a certain point of view, that Star Wars 40 story book that came out. I think it's from that. Because I feel like once you said that, I was surprised, and I was like, oh, I think I've heard that before. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. And then the Jawas caught him, and then they wiped his memory. But then he interacted with like R2, and they had like a little rivalry while they were on the barge or whatever you call it.
That's from that book.
That's from the 40.
So then obviously R5, I know you don't like this, I'm pretty sure, but R5 like intentionally sacrificed himself to let R2 go to Luke.
I get it. I mean, without that moment, I mean, if we're talking about real, like if we're pretending Star Wars is real without that moment.
Like, it makes sense. As a human, like you would do that. He's not a human, but as a person, you would do that. So
that just shows you how badass and a good dude R5 is.
Right?
He's like, you know what?
Right?
I'm going to blow my face off.
So then eventually he ends up traveling to Mos Eisley Spaceport. He was in Chalmun's Cantina when Din Djarin comes in episode 5. So that's really it. He just hung out on Tatooine for like 30 years.
Wow, just getting dirty.
Right?
Interesting.
But he's allowed to go to the cantina now because they do serve droids.
Yeah.
So he finally got to go into a cantina.
Yeah.
But
they're very inclusive now on Tatooine.
Indeed.
Yeah, very.
So
the
I
droid
don't-
scanner was going too. I noticed that.
The
from,
droid scanner's gone.
droid
I mean,
scanner.
there's a bartender that's a droid.
Yeah.
He's is it a D8 unit? D8 unit that
The,
we see
like-
on like Jabba's sail barge.
Weird guy
Like,
that talks like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't
You're
know
a feisty little one.
exactly. So I don't know where to go for next week's question for this segment. So if anyone has any ideas, go ahead and let me know. But I don't know.
I actually had one that I was curious about. Why
Okay.
does Anakin get different lightsabers in between 2 and 3?
My question exactly.
Well, he loses his on Geonosis in Attack of the Clones. It gets cut in half on that stupid factory belt.
I really need to
scene.
rewatch that movie.
It's so dumb. It's so stupid. I don't
Okay,
know.
that
That answers
so
it.
that ruins that
Yeah.
whole thing.
I
There we
didn't mean
go.
to be that guy, but I'm that
No.
guy.
I completely
No,
forgot because I
thank you,
haven't
Adam.
seen it. I haven't seen that movie.
It's such a
Literally
dumb
since it came
scene.
out.
I hate that like conveyor. That's the original video game scene. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's literally like a platforming game.
Yes.
All right, let's get into these listener questions before we let everybody leave. Because we're almost an hour in. That's perfect. All right, this is hilarious. I didn't see this until just now. This comes from Disney Dad at Disney Dad 9. I don't think I have the patience or time to get through all of Clone Wars. So would it be possible to just watch the Mortis arc in the final 4
Yes.
episodes, or would I be
Yes.
completely lost?
There's other ones
I
I
just
would
watched the
add,
last 4
but-
episodes.
But yes.
You're not gonna be if you know the timeline of Star Wars, you're not gonna be lost.
I think I don't know. I think you'd be a little lost.
I
That being
wasn't.
said, do I think you need to watch every single episode? No.
Is there like can we do like a Rebels or not a Rebels Clone Wars like watch guide for can we make that?
I've already done that, and it's back at home, but I've got it. I can
Okay.
bring it.
Let's
So,
do it on the next episode. Let's
Okay.
bring it with you next
Yeah.
time.
Please.
I'll narrow it down. It's like 30 episodes, but I'll cut it down to like 15.
Okay.
I rewatched the Clone Wars. I had watched all of it when it was first on, then it went off, and then we watched the new season together. But when I rewatched it, there were plenty of stuff that I was not paying attention when I was watching the episode. I was like, "Oh, this is the boring one."
It's a lot of
I don't really
bla-
need
like,
to. Yeah,
It's a lot
I don't
of
need to pay
Clone
attention
Troopers
to this.
blasting.
Exactly. So, yeah. And I still got, knew exactly what was going on in, the last couple of episodes.
I don't pay any
but-
attention to it. And I knew exactly what was going on. I've watched literally the few episodes you showed me to watch. I've tried to watch. Like, when I first was like, I'm going to watch Clone Wars when Disney Plus came out. I watched the first 5 episodes in one sitting, and I was like, I cannot do this.
Same. I was like, when I watched it, I was like, how did I like this show when it was on? Was I that desperate for Star Wars content?
At that
Like,
time, yeah. I mean, it was after. I mean, there was nothing else.
2008
It was,
came out
that
in
was it.
2008, and
So-
Revenge of the
so,
Sith.
yeah.
Actually, today in 2005 was when Revenge of the Sith came out.
That's crazy.
So-
I remember going to see that at midnight, and me and
Yeah.
my friend Rodrigo went and bought lightsabers, and we took them, and that was like a big thing because
Nice.
they were hard to find because
Yeah.
they were like
Yeah.
not that available.
Yeah, but that's exactly the Clone Wars. It's like, okay, they're shooting droids on this planet. Okay, next time they're shooting droids on a new
Meanwhile,
planet.
on another planet.
They just change venues. It's like we get it, and it's always I've said this before. It's always the same. It's a neutral quote neutral planet, but then they end up joining the good guys because of course they do. And then the good guys win because of course they do. But at the end of the war, the
Well,
good
there's
guys
no
lose the
stakes.
war. So it's weird. But
like, I feel like Attack of the Clones did a better job. This is so sad.
Oh.
Of portraying the Clone Wars than the Clone Wars show did because it just drug on.
as a whole,
It
yes.
feels
As a whole,
like
yes.
The Clone Wars show feels like it should like canonically take like 20 years, and it's
It
literally
only takes
like,
place 3. It's 3 years
That's
in canon.
insane.
Yeah, but the
Really?
Clone Wars show does make it feel like it's like
It's
15
long.
years. It does. Yeah. But it's only 3
so
years.
much.
It's
Those
crazy.
guys didn't have a day off, man. They're just blasting battle droids every day.
Like every day something crazy happens.
Like,
Like,
see-
oh, today our Jedi general turned on us. What's going to happen tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow Ahsoka left the Jedi Order. Oh, what's happening the next day? Oh, Yoda goes
no
to
remorse, though, huh?
It's crazy.
No,
for now.
Ahsoka Tano
No.
leaving.
I-
Oh God, I hate it. Okay, so that is that question. I don't think you'd be completely lost because I wasn't completely lost, but you I mean, it's like anything else. You should watch it a little bit, or at least like even if you don't watch it, watch a YouTube video that like wraps it up.
Or just watch, or read online. There's
Yeah,
tons of
overviews
recaps
and
and
stuff.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the first person that's made a list of ones to watch. So I'll still give you my 15 maybe next episode, but there's tons of other lists.
Write down
please.
the giveaway.
I did.
Okay, good.
Please let us know. I want to see. I want to see it, but I'm telling you right now, I can't stand just slow, like
Boring,
long,
tedious
Yeah,
nonsense.
no,
I'm with you, brother.
can't deal
Okay,
with that.
this one comes from our good friend Tom Duck at me Tomika25. I feel like I should know his Twitter handle by now off the top of my head, but I don't. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. This goes to everybody, and I'll let whoever wants to answer first. But what is your most unpopular opinions on Star Wars? Like unpopular opinions. You're gonna get a lot of hate for whatever you say. So just I don't know if I have any. I think that I would say the obvious ones. I love Last Jedi, but I think that opinion's starting to change already.
I have one.
Go for it.
I actually kind of like the prequels.
I like him too. There's things that I think they weren't. Here's what I've always said: this. I like the story. I don't like how the story was told. The story's fine. They just didn't do a good job of execution on the story.
Fair enough.
And there's a lot of really cool.
I can agree with
like
that.
I said, pod racing. I love pod racing. I love the idea. I think it was a bad creative decision, but the idea of seeing Anakin as a young kid makes sense storytelling wise because you're sympathetic to him as a kid, and like you feel bad for him when he leaves his mom. And spoiler alert.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that I didn't have my wife on.
She loves the prequels, right?
She hates pod racing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, time for a divorce.
Yeah, I would say that's my most controversial opinion. I mean, they just get crapped on.
I don't like Boba Fett.
Blasphemy.
He doesn't do anything. He's a background character that got built up because of action figures.
No, in my defense, I have no idea why I like Boba Fett. I really don't.
It's okay.
I don't know what it is about
cool.
him. I'm a light side person. I like all the light side characters.
I shouldn't say I don't like him. I think I want to get the friggin' helmet. I love Boba Fett. I love Mandalorian. I love it.
You just think he's overrated?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
He doesn't do anything. He's a background character. He's more important in the comic books now than he was in the movies originally. Yeah, right?
Even like back in the 70s.
I know.
People ask me all the time, like, what's your Boba Fett obsession? I'm like, I have no idea. I could not tell you why I like Boba Fett.
He's cool.
So
He looks
much.
cool. But like, people like ride or die for Boba Fett. And it's like, I don't get it. I'm that way with R5. It's just one of those things you connect to, and it just doesn't. I don't hate on anybody for liking him. I don't dislike him. It's weird to me that character, like, people like
Of the thousands of Star Wars characters to pick,
it's him.
how do you get R5? How do you get Boba Fett?
Especially now when there's all those all the Mandalorians. Like, he's not even unique anymore.
Yeah, and as we said before too, I mean, Boba Fett's like in the movies for like 5 minutes.
He
So
has
it's like,
3
and then
lines,
all
right?
of a sudden he's
no good to me dead.
Yeah.
He's no good to me dead. Oh crap! Hang on. I used to know them all, because I used to throw this fact out at people.
But yeah, he's in the movie for 5 minutes, but he's definitely, I would say, one of the characters with the biggest cult following out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree. I don't know. I think aside from even though I've acknowledged that the majority of Clone Wars is bad, I still love the Clone Wars. But aside from that, I don't know if it's unpopular, but to me...
Boba Fett has 4 lines. The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, go ahead.
As you wish.
Uh-huh.
What if he doesn't survive?
Yep.
He's worth a lot to me. He's no good to me dead.
2 of those lines are the same. He's worth a lot to me, and he's no good to me dead. Same thing.
Oh, man.
Same thing.
Wow.
I have another one. They're mostly sequel trilogy related.
I think same.
Ray kicks ass.
I agree now. I wouldn't have in 2015.
Why is that a controversial opinion? Obviously, Ray kicks ass.
Have you seen like people online just
I ignore that, and this is why.
you have to, because it's stupid.
Or me in 2015. So I agree. Or me
You're-
recently,
you're
though.
dating the problem.
No, I'm not anymore. Not anymore. I was. Not anymore, though.
No comment.
Oh, dang.
Here's another one. I think some of the special edition changes were good.
Can you tell me one of them?
when the dewback walks in front of the camera for no reason?
No, you don't think that's good. You don't think that's good. Tell me you don't think that's good.
No.
Okay. You like
showing,
Jedi rocks?
Showing dear God in heaven, no.
That's our favorite one to
Awful.
go to. We did that like 6 times this weekend.
should-
You remember that, right?
Barely.
Same. Oh, jeez.
I love seeing the Emperor in Empire Strikes Back.
I agree. Yeah.
The movie's
Yeah.
called The Empire Strikes Back. You don't even see the Emperor.
Good.
It's awesome. And then like the change was a good change, like not having that weird monkey distorted looking. Have you seen do you remember what the original Emperor looked
He
like?
looks nothing like Ian McDermott.
It's like he's got a droopy eye.
Yeah,
his
I'm
eyes like falling off.
I'm like, how did you get this?
It looks like a deformed snow clone.
Yeah.
Like snow clone. He looks
right?
awful.
Maybe it is in canon now. That's how the retcon.
Maybe it is.
Retcon. But I think
right.
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. But I don't know if it is, and you'll definitely. I think both of you know it's on my shoes for crying out loud. Ben Solo / Kylo Ren is at least in the top 3 characters in all of Star Wars.
I agree with you 100%. I think for me,
I don't know if it's unpopular.
I think he's
but
number
I
2 for
think
me.
that.
Because for me,
He's my favorite.
It
But
goes
I'd say
Luke.
top 3.
For me, it goes Luke, Kylo Ren, and probably Princess Leia.
Okay.
I'm not a Han Solo guy.
I wouldn't say it's unpopular. I just feel like that is something that's really objective. You know, I feel like some people really, you know, we all gravitate towards different characters. So I think that's what it is. Do I think he's a great character? Yes. Do I, you know, is he my favorite? No. But that being said, honestly, I just remember from when The Rise of Skywalker came out, the amount of hate that movie got. And I feel like sometimes I'm, you know, being someone who actually enjoyed that movie, I sometimes
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get anyone who didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no,
I
plenty
do.
of people.
I do
You
too.
know,
And
they've given it
it's
a lot of hate.
It's fashionable to not like it. And then what's going to
Exactly,
happen
yeah.
with these movies is the same thing. It's already happened with the prequels where you're 20 years down the road, you go back, and you're like, those movies are actually really good.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
I have a friend who's coming on the show, and she hated Last Jedi, hated Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, how many times did you see it? And she goes, once each. And I said, okay, go back and watch Last Jedi, and then let me know if you hate it. And she goes, it's not as bad as I remember. Matt Parrish from Wedway Radio did the same thing.
Yeah.
We did you and me, Josh. It was you and me at the Polynesian. We did like 2.5 hour podcast on it.
2.5 hour podcast about it.
About how much he hated it, and it just
Exactly.
and then he texted me a month or 2 or 3 months ago. I forget when it was. Maybe it could have been a year ago. And he goes, "Man,
Yeah,
that
and
was
they
like not as
told
bad
me
as I
about it.
remember." And I was like,
yeah.
"I told you."
Yeah, when the last Jedi came out, I remember seeing it being like, that was good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't terrible.
I have
It
a
was good.
controversial
And then I saw it a couple of times though, and every time I watched it grows on me more. So I definitely agree with you. Oddly enough, I had kind of the opposite with The Rise of Skywalker. I walked out of the movie theater like, wow, that was awesome. And then the second time when we watched it, I remember there were a few times where we actually just looked at each other and laughed.
There's a few of
like,
those.
so, you know,
There's a few of those.
Yeah.
But it doesn't ruin the movie.
No,
like,
it doesn't. It
I mean, like they're like the dumbest thing for sure is
Yeah.
when she walks up to the Death Star with the Wayfinder,
The
and it's
dagger. The dagger is
and
not
it's
the Wayfinder, but the
sorry, the dagger, and it's the exact shape of the.
Every time I think about it, it
What?
gets dumber.
Yeah, come on.
It gets
What?
dumber.
It makes no sense.
It's been sitting there for how long? 30 years.
And you just knew that it was going to fall.
and the
you knew it
dagger was
gonna,
made when? Like the
Yeah,
timeline
just-
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that part I didn't really understand.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
Rise
dumb.
of Skywalker.
You're not
3
supposed
times.
to. If you can't understand it, you're higher than you should be watching
Dagger,
that movie.
yeah, the dagger to me is still the worst part of that movie. I
Terrible.
still love Episode 9, but yeah, like its lows are low, and that's the lowest part.
I got a very controversial one here, and this is going to piss some people off.
Oh, hit us.
The Battle of Crate better than the Battle of Endor or Hoth.
Get the bleep out of here. It's on my shoe. Crate's on your shoe. Hoth is on my shoe. Get the bleep out of here.
Standing by it, bro. Looks better. The
Actually,
animation's not all
Okay,
janky.
okay. The high of that battle
the
is
rebels
Luke.
win.
Luke coming out and fighting Kylo as a Force ghost, or not Force ghost, as a Force projection. That part is way better than Hoth. Just that part itself. But the rest of Crate, not even close to Hoth.
You're out of your mind.
No way.
You're crazy.
I think it was a lot better, man.
Than Hoth?
I mean, look, then what? Crate?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're on my side? Okay, good.
Dang, Josh.
No, I think it. I think it was. No, I think it was great.
Honestly,
I mean,
for me, it's like
he
apples and
force
oranges.
projected from another place.
No, I agree.
First is pew, pew,
The Force projection,
and then losing.
that's the best part of Battle of Crate. And the Force projection scene is way better than all of Hoth. But if you're taking speeders versus walkers, Hoth is better. Hoth wins.
I have another one. It's Last Jedi related. You ready?
Am I right or wrong? Like, do you agree in that part?
I didn't hear what you
no,
said. I was too busy thinking about what I was saying.
Speeders versus walkers. Hoth is better than Crate.
See,
But when you put Luke and Kylo, Crate wins by far.
Wait. Say that again. Speeders versus walkers? Like
If you just make it the speeders versus the walkers in each scene, the
the
Hoth scene
Hoth
is
is
better.
better.
Exactly.
But the whole scene is the whole scene. There's a lot of
when
boring
you tack
crap
on Luke
that.
and Kylo, Crate is better. But we didn't have a Luke and
The
Kylo.
transport shuttles away.
But we did. But it was a different situation. Like all of Hoth is not as good as all is Crate. But like the main theme of Crate and Hoth is better.
I'm talking about the scenes themselves.
Yeah, when you put on Kylo and Luke, by far, Crate. Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Yes, I win.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I kind of agree with you guys.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Last one, and then I'll let somebody else do one. Duel of the Fates is everyone's favorite lightsaber fight. Not better than the throne room scene.
no.
Am I wrong? Do you disagree?
Oh no! Wait, hold on. That Duel of Fate?
Snoke one.
That it's better than the throne scene?
No, I said Last Jedi's throne scene with when Ben kills Snoke, and that whole moment is better than Duel of the Fates.
That it's better? Yes.
And I think, honestly, now that you're singing the theme, that's why everyone loves that battle.
Yeah,
I mean, that is iconic. Exactly. Right there. But I don't know. You're talking to someone whose favorite lightsaber battle scene is Yoda.
Against Sidious?
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith? That's a cool lightsaber. Dude, when they're going through and they're throwing those things from the Senate, that's dope.
I mean, there's not. So when I saw that movie, I'm from New Jersey originally. I was in high school. A bunch of my friends and I went into New York City to
How old are
see
you?
the movie. I'm 33.
Okay, so you were about the same. I was. What year did that movie come out? 05. Okay, so I was
Today in 2005.
I was a sophomore.
That's my one fact
freshman,
for the day.
sophomore?
I'm being very proud of.
2003.
Don't know why.
I was a sophomore, junior. I don't know.
Oh wait, maybe. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I actually had just finished. I want to say, yeah, it was in between 2 years of college for me.
Okay.
So I went to. All I remember is seeing it in New York.
Did you graduate in 05?
04.
04. Okay.
And
Oh my God, I'm so old.
yeah,
Josh is like,
I graduated in 1974.
Graduated class 1955.
We're not going to talk about when I did, so that's okay. Move on.
Evan graduated
but-
last year.
I just remember.
He still got his cap and gown in his closet. Oh dear God.
I hope not.
Go ahead.
Anyways,
Go ahead. I'm listening.
so I just remember seeing that movie in a theater in Times Square, and Yoda came on the second that lightsaber came out of its hilt. The entire movie theater stood up and applauded, and
My
that's
movie
not
theater
even an
laughed.
exaggeration. Like everyone just got up and stood up, and we're like, "Yeah, tiny little Yoda and his little lightsaber." And
That was one of those
and
moments
everything
that I
like
think-
that.
I think that moment was perfect because it was like you only knew Yoda from being this like quiet like.
Well, we see him
sinful
fight
Jedi.
in episode 2.
That's true, but
We're talking episode 3
he's
here.
he's not using lightsaber like he,
Episode
it
2?
starts
He uses saber.
just for a second, and then he saves them, and then
Yeah,
Dooku
yeah.
gets away.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is a full on like other than the prequel stuff, but like even in that you only really see him when he's floating on that little stupid thing, and then when he's like sitting in the Jedi Council room, and he's always kind of like Yoda from the original. The way they
Yeah.
kept Yoda from the original trilogy to the prequels is like the best preservation of a character other than Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Because that's like it's still the same actor. Like they just kind of carried it over, and it was perfect. It wasn't like, oh, that's not my Yoda. You know what I mean?
That's not my Yoda.
Not my Yoda. I forgot what the point of that was, but yeah, that's
I think,
fun.
No, I love the throne room scene too in episode 8. My favorite lightsaber is actually Rey and Kylo on the Death Star wreckage in episode 9. I love that.
It's a good one, dude.
I love
It's
that
so
because I love how
intense.
Kylo is. He's not there to kill Rey, and he's super like defensive the whole battle.
He doesn't.
I love
like,
that.
That's such an understated.
I know,
battle.
and people don't
Like,
get that. Like Rey is trying to kill him, and he's not trying to kill her.
He's so much stronger than her. It's ridiculous.
We could probably have an entire episode talking about lightsaber battles, but
We should.
speaking of awesome lightsaber battles, we just watched The Force Awakens, and I love when Rey grabs her lightsaber for the first time and takes him on because she has no idea what she's getting into. She's just like, let me just take this thing and let's see what happens, and and then she holds her own. And
I love Finn.
I love that.
That lightsaber belongs to me.
Come get it.
He's like, oh shit.
Now, in 2015, I'm one of the people that was the problem. I came out of that saying, how does Rey fight that well? How does Finn fight that well? Kylo should kill him. And I'm like, now looking back, we've talked about it on the show. Kylo was shot with a bowcaster.
They
the
set up
freaking
that
abdomen.
They set up that entire movie, how powerful that weapon
Right,
is.
and I was too stupid in 2015 to realize that. But now I'm like, no, Kylo was shot in the freaking abdomen with a weapon that kills like 6 people with one shot.
Exactly.
Yep.
And Rey is strong with the Force, obviously. And now we know Finn is Force sensitive. So like now I'm like,
But
I
also,
love that
he's a
scene.
stormtrooper. He was trained in combat. They have the little
But
baton
I
things.
was
Like,
stupid in 2015. It was like, screw that.
did you
scene.
come out of the Force Awakens not liking it?
Yeah.
You really?
And now I love it. Now I've
Really?
told both of you. I've seen that.
You didn't
more
like
than,
it initially?
Yes.
Wow.
Now I've seen that more than any other Star Wars film, and I love it.
Here's how dumb.
It's so weird. How
Here's how
stupid
dumb
I was
I
back
am.
then.
Here's how dumb. I didn't even get that it was a friggin' remake of New Hope. Like I was just
Yes
like,
and no. We
I was
talked about
like-
it last
I was like,
episode. Yes
That's
and no.
completely new, and it's like person on a desert planet who gets taken away. They fight a Death Star. It's just bigger. That
It's
scene.
the same but different. But the
It is, but it's
execution and the
fine.
characters
It's
are
fine.
what make it
Yeah,
different.
for sure.
I mean, let's be real. Like,
How many times do you
when
tell
it
the same
comes
story?
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say, 99% of the stories out there follow a very, very similar path. So why shouldn't these?
And it was familiar, but like. But it also like the Death Star thing makes sense if you look at like the First Order was trying to be the Empire, like they're trying to not really be indistinguishable. Like the Stormtroopers look the same, which is kind of confusing. But it was like they're kind of using it as like a symbol of fear, I guess. I don't know. That's something I want them to explore in Mandalorian season 2 is like the rise of the First Order. Was that a weather alert? Oh, heard the Weather Channel app go off. Is it about to rain, Holly? Okay, because my Jeep is completely open. Okay.
No, it's not supposed to rain today.
Okay, good. What'd you say, bud?
Don't worry, it's waterproof.
I know,
I-
but I got
My Jeep is waterproof.
the Jeep. My Jeep's waterproof too, but my last one got rained in so many times
Yeah, it just
that it just started getting mold and stuff, and it just
that's
I
a
don't
little
want it to
weird.
happen.
Let me say one thing real quick. Did any of you actually like the scene in Rogue One, the ending scene in Rogue One with Darth Vader
Hell yes.
losing his mind?
Hell yes, everybody loves that scene.
Okay, because I've talked to a few people that didn't like it.
Those people are stupid.
Agreed.
You need to not be friends with them immediately.
That's the highlight of that film by far.
Yeah, that's the best
That's
part.
the
of the
highlight.
movie.
Because if you look at it, what A New Hope, it's right there.
It's perfect. I think that was, dude. I've told you this. I don't know if I've told you guys this. Read Catalyst and then watch Rogue One. That book's
I have to.
amazing.
I haven't read that yet. But
It's on the audio.
I got to
Audible
get through
thing.
Master and Apprentice first.
You still haven't finished that?
I've restarted it like
I
4
finished
times.
Catalyst on.
You don't,
I can't
do
get
you not
past-
like it?
I can't get past like chapter 1. I'm just like, okay, I forgot what happened. I got to start again.
It
I
gets
forgot
better.
again. I got to start again.
I told you it's not her,
I
it's
know
not her
it
best
does.
book. It's not her
I
best
know it
book.
gets better. I just have to get to where
It
it gets better.
Like I finished Catalyst and then I rewatched. We rewatched Rogue One, I think.
Oh, he was talking about Master and Apprentice, but yes.
Oh, Master Apprentice.
Yeah, Catalyst is good, man. I finished Catalyst the day Rogue One came out. All right, Josh. Yeah. Do you have any controversial Star Wars takes other than the non-one you just said?
I love Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, okay. Well,
Do you really?
We're gonna put
Do
you to
you,
death.
though?
I think you know what. You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's not joking.
How wooed.
You so crazy.
How
You're
wooed.
so
I love
rude.
Jar Jar Binks, man. He reminds me of my ancestors.
Here's my controversial take.
Whoa, that's racist.
Jesus, Sebulba should have won.
He would. He's such a cheater, though. Why would you say that?
Sebulba should have won.
Yeah, it's a should have won.
All right, friends, let's wrap this episode up. Where can everyone find everyone on Twitter? Josh, you go first.
Me, I've disappeared, but I've slowly coming back. I think.
Wait, follow
right
me
now I'm
back,
still
Josh.
on
Come
Twitter
on. I followed you a couple of weeks ago. Follow me back.
and
Come on.
Instagram, so it's at Lumberjack Rican.
Follow. Did you hear Evan?
No.
Come on,
I'm sorry,
Josh.
what?
You got to follow me back, bro. I followed you a couple weeks ago.
What?
Right?
He doesn't check.
You got to follow me back, bro.
Honestly, I started checking like 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, I followed you back, or I followed you, so you got to follow me back. I still love you either way, but
Follow
come on.
everyone back. I literally took a hiatus because of work, and I'm slowly coming back. It's at Lumberjack Weekend, both Instagram and Twitter.
Sweet. Erica, where can the good people of the internet that can roast you for your horrible Boba Fett opinion? I'm kidding.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Travel Jedi.
Sweet.
No, I didn't change my handle.
Yeah, dummy. Do you not know how Twitter works?
I don't know how the internet works, so go with what she said. I'm stupid.
Ignore him.
Where can they find you? Do you know how to? Do you know what
I
Twitter handle
forget.
is?
No, see, I don't know how it works, so I keep it simple. My name is
He's
my
like,
handle.
Just Google Evan. You'll
My
find
name
me.
is everything. I keep it simple. My name is everything. So Evan T. Boucher on everything. You name it, it's there.
Awesome.
There's gonna be a shoe video on YouTube in the next 2 or 3 days. Go watch that.
Yes.
So sick. I love these shoes. I'm wearing them to Disney Springs tomorrow.
Ooh, should I?
I'm
Can
wearing
I?
them.
I
I'm
probably
wearing
will.
them. I'm
Okay,
wearing them.
I'm
I'm
wearing
wearing
them.
them.
We're wearing them. We're doing it.
I'm not going to see you. So I don't
Wait,
know.
we probably will.
I
We're
know,
going to
you
the
should-
same place.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Wine bar.
What time is your reservation at?
A little after yours, but we'll see you.
Okay.
And then maybe
Because God knows we probably won't get in because, like, sorry,
well,
the
we
parking
can't
lot's
we
full.
can't go to Jocks, but we should go somewhere else after, maybe, possibly,
Let's go
potentially.
to
you guys-
Oga's. Oh, wait, we can't.
I'm
'cause
done.
no one
I'm gonna go
died.
home and cry now. No, because it's Disney owned. Jocks won't be open.
All right. You can find me on Twitter. Don't go to Instagram.
Or don't.
Don't. It's just pictures of me and my daughter.
Oh,
And my
and
son.
Bentley was on
Yeah,
there.
It was on there, too.
Yeah.
Basically, me. Just go on Twitter. I'll start using Twitter a lot more.
Yeah. You can find me on there at Jedi Talk Podcast. And yeah, that's it. Please rate and review the show on iTunes and Stitcher. Past that, we'll see you guys on the next show. May the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.
Always.